Alright, here are some Tekken 8. Yeah, I'm picking up Bryan. I know, I was super close to hitting blue rank on Devil Jin. But not gonna lie, I kind of just, the reason I haven't been playing Tekken much is because when I think about playing Devil Jin, I'm just not super excited anymore. I don't know. So I'm playing a character that I've always wanted to play, but I've never played, Bryan. Before this video, I've played a little bit of him just to get used to him before I started recording. So, yeah, I'm about to get out of orange rank. This is probably like my 10th match with Bryan, 10th, 15th match, something around that. So, yeah, played some casual with him, jumped in the rank, here we are. But I also want to talk about the state of this game, because this game is in a very frustrating state, because it genuinely feels like, to summarize this video, right, this is pretty much, the whole point of this video is pretty much what I'm going to say in this video. I'll elaborate further on, but the general point here, and I don't really think anyone can disagree with this, it feels like, so far, the post-launch support of Tekken 8, it feels like that they are prioritizing monetization so much that it's hurting the actual game. That's genuinely what it feels like. Because if they put half the amount of thought that they did for the monetization into this patch, then this patch wouldn't have been an absolute disaster. So, for example, one of my ways to prove this point is, and this is just one of the ways, this is just one of the things that happened in this update. This update had a lot of really dumb things in it, but one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in a video game. During the Tekken talk, when they were talking about the update, they specifically said that Azucena's running move was too good. It is one of the best moves in the game, and that they have to nerf it, right? So, they're talking about what they did to nerf it, blah blah blah, right? Has anyone on the dev team played Tekken 8 before? Because it feels like they haven't even played the game. It feels like they've just been sitting in the shop menu the whole time figuring out what they can do to scam you next. Because they specifically said they're nerfing Azucena's while running move because it's too good. So what happens? They buff it! They buff the move! So if you don't know, Azucena's move was probably the best move in the game, or one of the best moves in the game, her while running move. Before this update, it was incredibly hard to sidestep it, but it was possible to sidestep it and get a full punish. Now, it is incredibly easy to sidestep it. If you know the move is coming, you can reliably sidestep the move. However, you get no punish. So, here's the thing. They took away, they buffed the move, because before, if you were good enough, don't get me wrong, it's not easy, it was very hard, you could sidestep the move and get a full punish. Now, you can consistently sidestep the move, but you get nothing off of it. Literally, to the point where it's considered a buff, because she flies so far away that she is in distance to just run back at you and do it again. That's how far away she flies. So, yeah, like, a monkey in a lab coat could have figured out that by not nerfing the distance that she flies, literally, this was going to be a buff. That's all they had to do. All they had to do was nerf the distance that she flies. And they didn't do that. And because of that, they literally buffed her when they specifically said this was targeting her as a nerf. And they showed it live on stream that this is a nerf. But it's not a nerf, it's a buff, because she gets so out of harm's way that she can do whatever she wants. It pretty much just resets the game back to neutral. So, yeah. And the move is still super plus as well, so it's like, what... And that's just one of the dumb things about this patch. There were so many specific things that changed. Like, for example, they nerfed Devil Jin, and in order to nerf Devil Jin, they just changed the way the entire game works. So, yeah, it just like, again, what are they thinking? And I can tell you what they're thinking. They're thinking monetization, clearly, because they're not thinking about the state of the actual game. I mean, think about it. Since the game came out, they've added a full shop filled with skins. And then, after that, they added a battle pass. That's a lot of stuff to add, right? That's a lot of monetization. So, clearly, their thoughts are somewhere else. Instead of, oh, yo, we should make this game better. Their thoughts are, yeah, let's just add as much monetization. And here's the funny thing, right? In my opinion, the very first patch for this game was pretty good. Obviously, it buffed King and made King a demon, right? But it had some really good nerfs in there for, like, Dragonov, for example. And here's the funny thing, there was no shop at that time, right? This is my little conspiracy. This is what I'm thinking. Again, the first update for this game was a pretty solid starting point. And guess what? There was no mention of a shop at this point. We had no idea there was going to be a shop, right? Boom. A few weeks later, the shop comes out. Then we've stopped getting these updates. We've kind of halted progress. And now we've gotten the first, like, big update since then. And it's a absolutely horrendous update. So when there was no monetization in the game, the one update we got was a pretty solid update. But as soon as they added monetization, and they've been focusing so heavily on it, the first update we got since that has been an absolute disaster of an update. One of the dumbest updates I've seen in a while. So, yeah. It's pretty weird. It's pretty weird. That's my little conspiracy right there. Or I guess it's a little bit of evidence, I guess you could say. I mean, I don't know. Look, all I'm saying is that it's very clear that their priorities are in the monetization. And what I can say is that Tekken 8 is going to be a very bad game in 1 year if this is the direction that they were going. If this was just a genuine mistake and they're like, okay, we're sorry, then okay, right? But if this is genuinely the direction they're going, to where they care so much about monetization that they just lie about their updates, because literally, they lied on a live stream saying, hey, we're nerfing Azucena. And they literally put so little thought into it that they didn't even realize that it was a major buff to her instead of a nerf. So they putting so little care into the actual game since it came out. Is this just a mistake, or is this the future of the game? That's really what we're at right now. Because here's the thing, they've consistently added tons of skins to the shop. They have not slacked off on the shop at all. And it's really sad, because if the actual game got even half the amount of attention that the shop did, then we'd be getting banger patch after banger patch. And it's sad because the game isn't even 3 months old yet, but we've already seen a complete shift in tone for what the game is. The game went from having 0 microtransactions for the first month to now having some of the most microtransactions in a fighting game, while consistently releasing one of the worst patches we've seen in a long time in a fighting game. What I can say, though, is that the game is still fun, and the game has not been ruined yet. I'm still having a blast playing new characters like Bryan here. You know, learning new characters, all that. So, the game is still fun to play. It's just that this could be the beginning of the end for Tekken 8, and we're already not even 3 months in. Because if this is the direction they are going with these updates, yeah, GG. Again, it's just one update, right? So we can't really say for sure. But all I'm saying is that this was a bad update, right? Bad update. Too much focus on monetization, clearly, because it was just a very dumb update. So hopefully it was just a mistake. and they won't do it again. But if this wasn't a mistake, and this is genuinely the way they want to take the game, then this game is cooked. We're about to be running tournaments on the launch version of this game, because ain't no one going to play this game in a year. If this is the direction they want to take. So yeah. Overall, horrible update. Game is still fun to play. Game is still good to play. Horrible update. Super scummy microtransactions. I mean, I haven't even talked about the Battle Pass. If you don't know, 75% of the Battle Pass has stuff from Tekken 7 in it, and those things were free in Tekken 7. So they are selling you old stuff that was free in the previous game. And if you don't know, the Battle Pass is 600 coins, but the lowest amount of coins you can buy is 500. So even though the Battle Pass is 600 coins, they're essentially forcing you to buy 1,000 coins, because that's the lowest amount that you could possibly buy in order to get enough for the Battle Pass. So, yeah, you know, obviously the Season Pass is already scummy with the way they're selling the Season Pass. Now we have microtransactions. Battle Pass is scummy because you can't even buy 600 coins. And they're selling stuff in the Battle Pass that was in Tekken 7, and it was free in Tekken 7. And the update was a disaster. So that's the state of Tekken 8 right now. Still a fun game to play, going down a very, very bad path. The game has been out for what, like 2.5 months? Within 2.5 months, the game is going down an absolutely horrendous path. And the game will die if it continues this path throughout the next year. Anyways, you know, like, subscribe, let me know how you feel about this patch, and yeah, I have some more content up soon. Peace.